Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Jade. Here we are on Hump Day in week 6.
It's literally the downhill slope.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. It's a complete downhill slope. Hopefully we're still charging on up the hill and we're still powering along, doing really well.
I'm actually super excited. I was doing my yoga last night, and as you know, I had a rough day or two and hadn't had much sleep the night before. And I was like, oh man, I've got to do the yoga. I'm actually week 7, and the procrastination brain, the permission brain was like, well, you've actually done your 6 weeks. You've done your exercise every day. You've not missed anything. It's okay. And I was like, that's not the attitude. I was like, I want to be the person that does this every day. I'm not just doing it for the challenge. And I might get the laptop out. Definitely fell asleep in my forward fold because I woke up going, I kind of was hanging there. I was like, oh, I feel a bit stiff. And she's still not doing forward fold anymore.
And it is important that we, as we roll into next week and week 7 plus, that we do think about maintaining what we want to be, the person we want to be. And sometimes that is making the decision that, I am freaking tired today, but I still need to do these things because that's the person I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking this morning though, and it actually took me back to something that Michelle Crawford said to me long time ago. And really, we probably should have spoke about this in week 1, but communication is actually really, really important. And particularly, as you're a self-leader, it's really, really important to make sure that you communicate with your team around you, with your orbit, I should say, not just your team, but your orbit around you. So, the worst thing in the world that you can do is stay quiet as you decide to grow and change and everything else. Because, what happens is if you're in an intimate relationship and, you're off at work silently powering along, changing rapidly, what happens is you come home and your intimate partner just sees this person that's changing and it freaks them out.
It's scary. Yeah, it's super scary because especially if they don't know why you're doing it, like if it's an abrupt, like it's like a sharp right turn and they don't know why you're doing it. What's
Last
happening?
week you drank a carton of beer every day. This week you're drinking nothing. What the fuck?
Yeah, like
who is she?
A midlife crisis? Is there about to be a red sports car in the driveway? Are we getting a divorce?
Yeah. And, as Brene sort of talks about, the story you tell yourself, is, okay, so what the hell? And so it's really, really important. And communication, I sort of wanted to touch on communication today. And no matter where you're up to in your growth journey, it's really, really important to be communicating with the people around you about what's going on. Because otherwise they are talking about, to themselves, they're talking about and going, oh shit, what's going on? Is she pretty?
Yeah.
and it can be quite a scary experience and not just your intimate partner. It can be your friends, it can be your workmates, it can be anyone around you. If you're not, there's no reason to keep these things a secret.
Yeah, because as you especially if you're starting to shift where you spend your time. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it. So we even communicated with the local bottle shop at Lennox Head because, we were fairly regular. They pretty much stocked some of the preservative-free organic wine. Apparently there was only myself and one other lady in town that drank the rosé. And we didn't actually want them to get worried that we dropped off the face of it because we usually we're usually across the park across the road at the beach, and Steve would go over and buy a 6-pack while I was surfing when he had a busted leg, and so they were just used to seeing us. And so we actually even communicated to them, jokingly, not jokingly, that, you're not going to see us for the next few weeks. Don't overstock the rest because they'd only keep like 6 bottles of it and they'd have to get it. And it was from somewhere across the border. And so sometimes it was like, what do we got to do to get this wine? And like just being able to even, that's just kind of a polite thing. So think about like who are you maybe redistributing your time from, and how you can let them know it's not them. Like it's not like you're like, I don't want to hang out with you anymore. Like maybe it's your mates at the pub. Like maybe you were used to going to the pub with them, or just hanging out, not doing anything too active. And now because you're doing something else, they might assign a meaning, like you said, Brene's story, they're telling themselves that you don't like them anymore. You don't want to hang out with them anymore.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. It's just that you've decided to take another journey, and then maybe you could ask them if they want to come on it with you.
Yeah, and that's the really amazing thing is, if it only takes one person to create a ripple, and that to wash out to everyone else. And Joel was talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Where he sort of went, I'm going to reach out to just the local community, and I'm going to go, let's catch up for a couple of afternoon workout sessions. Just a run and a bit of bodyweight stuff or something like that. And he was just going to lead that group. And while his motivation is that then he's got he's
Got some
committed
accountability
to someone.
buddies.
Yeah, but that's also a part of giving and sharing with the community, because his thought was, well, if I ask, maybe there's 2 or 3 other people that just want someone to be doing it so that they can just come and tag along and not think about it and be involved. So whether that's your community, your local community, or whether that's your tighter knit friends and family, it often only takes one person to go, I'm thinking of doing this. And next thing, you've got a whole soccer team.
Or a whole Facebook group.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm feeling like for my birthday, I should give myself the gift of not drinking, eating better, and starting to read again. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
But I think keep going.
Go on. No, you're right.
I was just going to say, it's also with the communication stuff, it can also be about setting the boundaries. Like I felt like I was a bit rude to Steve last night, because I'd sent a message going, I'm so buggered. I've got to do my yoga. And then he thought he'd get a quick call in before I started my yoga. And when he called, he's like, it's all black. And I'm like, I'm doing my yoga in the dark. Like, he's like, I have to go now. I'm in the middle of my yoga. But he gets it. Like, he knows that once I've started my yoga, I go in, like, I down lights, the essential oil is on, and I like to go directly, like I brush the teeth, I do everything beforehand, so I go directly to bed. Right? But
do not pass go.
Don't pass go. But that's kind of like a boundary that I needed to establish. Like, because otherwise, if if there's other people in your household, or even on the phone, like if you haven't told them that, like that could have come across as just really rude, like piss off, I don't want to talk to you. Right? But he knows my boundary is this is how I set up my night. That's how I get my sleep, and I need to set that. And especially if you're in your house, if you want that to be that happened, sit and be what happens. You can't get pissed off, because you know what happens? A lot of people have something in their head and they think that that's what they want to do. And then if someone disrupts that, then they get the shits or annoyed at the other person. And the other person's like, you okay? And you're like, yep, fine. And they're like, feel like you're really pissed at me or done something. And they haven't actually done anything, because they didn't know what your plan was and what you wanted to do, but you're now sort of looking at them with disdain, or you're annoyed and pissed off because you didn't get to follow the plan you set, but you never told anyone about it.
But it all made perfect sense in my head.
In your creator brain, where you processed it for a million times and then didn't communicate it to anybody.
That's a whole story for
that's a whole nother story. But do you know what I mean? Like we if we want something to go a certain way, we need to communicate to the people around us. And like, even if it's literally like, okay, my plan is this afternoon, I want to come home and hit the gym straight away, because otherwise when I come home and I get stuck doing other tasks or doing something else, I'm really not motivated to go to the gym. And then sometimes I don't make it, or I get there and I'm really flat. Is that okay with you? And anything you want me to do, I can do it when I get back from the gym.
Yep. Yeah. And whatever it is that you're changing, it doesn't really matter what it is that you're changing. Just being open about, like if it's about food, it's not about what's being cooked. It's about changing what I'm doing. If it's about alcohol, it's about me, not you. It's not. It might be that as a partnership or as a friendship, what you do is you get together and you eat bad food and you drink alcohol, and that turns into a habit. So as you said, sometimes that's just a matter of, well, hey, I think this is a bad habit for me, and not to criticize you, but what else can we do?
Yeah.
Can we go across to the park and hit a tennis ball around, or can we just go for a walk along the beach? Yeah, kick a soccer ball around, play a bit of backyard cricket. Like I want to do some movie stuff. I'd love to involve you in it if we can. And otherwise, we'll work out another way to catch up.
And often it's just like that's become the default of society as well. Like often on a Friday afternoon, that's the default for Aussies. Like we catch up and have a beer or have a drink and like we socialize, which is cool. And it's because no one's really, just don't think people have thought about it. Or maybe they're a bit scared to ask, like, we need to think like we're teenage kids. Like, what would you say after school? Like, yeah, let's go chuck the footy. Let's go explore this thing. Like, what can we do? Like, and it just takes someone to, and sometimes it's just lack of ideas, decision fatigue. At the end of the week, people are they're done. They're done. Brain's done.
Absolutely.
One of the fun things that we used to do is this, and I want to get back into it. I'm looking over here because I'm looking at my trees that I put it into. The slack line. You make so many random friends with the slack line. Like I made random friends with people with the slack line. That's how I learned it, because I saw these kids playing on it. I'm like, can I have a turn? Well, actually, no, they saw me staring at it and they're like, would you like a turn? Like, yes. But so many people want to come along, like, and intrigued. And the amount of people that have said afterwards that they've bought their kid one, like they're going to go buy their kid one or they're going to get one, just because it's something new, it's a new idea. But Leah and I used to love that. Friday afternoons, we'd be like, okay, let's go for a skateboard, grab the slack line and watch sunset, because it was an awesome spot just over here to set it up between the trees, watch the sunset. We'd have a beer while we skated up to Kira and back. And
yeah. And it's you're keeping that active sort of, momentum going, I suppose.
Yeah. And so many people are like, I just never would have thought to do that. And that's just, do you know what I mean? Like, because I think of the day of technology and convenience and things like that, we've lost, as adults, I think we've started to lose that creativity of what else can we do for connection? What else can we do for fun?
Yep.
What else is there? And what's accepted? Like, it's almost like it became not acceptable to do those things.
Yeah. Yep. We had to grow up.
Like we need to be adults now.
So I reckon that's the thing for today is, it's all about self-leadership, 6 weeks of self-leadership. So the leadership part is lead your orbit. Let everyone know what you're doing. Let everyone know what's going on in your world. And you never know, you might lead them into a better pathway themselves. A small change is better than no change, and any growth is better than no growth.
Oh, mic drop. Doom.
Have an epic day, everyone. No sunrises around today because it is exceptionally cloudy and rainy. So all I can say is be your own light.
Oh, love it. Thanks,
Nice.
Kyle. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.